This is Chris. I'm stuck in the elevator. There's been a crime afoot.
Usa is La Raza.
Ma'am, what's your job duty? Man, this lady just locked us inside of a vault.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Fraudulent Roundup with Sheriff Wyatt A. Moron. Help my channel continue to shrink by watching my videos, sharing my videos, commenting on my videos. I'm now offering memberships. Turn on that notification bell and turn on all the notifications. Take that there like button, like it, dislike it. Pay to have it go to a plastic surgeon for a tummy tuck. But instead, give it some Persian cat eyes. Today we're taking another look at this guy. It goes by the name Leonid Krivolenkov. Channel name is the Siberian Tiger. Now we just covered him the other day. It's a beautiful video. I'll leave a link to it in my description, where he gets tossed to the pavement and arrested by the police. Watch it with somebody you love. But today we're going to get to see him getting bitch slapped by another branch of the government. Today it's going to be the judiciary. He shows up in court fighting a parking ticket. A $55 parking ticket. So as much as he don't know about his rights on the streets, we're going to see just how much he don't know about his rights when it comes to parking. So this is hysterical. You're going to enjoy this one. So let's watch this, and let's round us a befrauditor.
Okay, we can now go back to the trials. I believe the first one was Mr. Leonid Krivolenkov. Hi, Leonid, can you hear me okay?
I sure can. Good morning, Judge.
Can you raise your right hand so I can get you under oath? You and the officer need to be under oath. Okay. You both solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalties of perjury.
I do, Your Honor.
I affirm.
Okay. And say your last name for me, sir.
Krivolenkov.
Thank you. So how these trials work, Mr. Krivolenkov, is I first hear from the officer. She needs to establish that she validly issued you and accurately issued you that ticket. And then I'll let you ask her any questions you have and tell me your side of the story, sir. Okay, do you have any questions?
Not yet.
All right, go ahead, Officer Cochran.
This is actually Officer Parley, Your Honor. So good morning. My name is Officer Parley. I am employed by the City of Portland as a parking code enforcement officer and was so employed on May 20th, 2024. While on routine foot patrol at approximately 9:03 a.m., I observed a Toyota with the Washington license plate Bravo Echo Victor Bravo 61 in a mail zone on the west side of Southwest 1st Street between Main and Madison, which is on public property in the City of Portland, County of Multnomah, State of Oregon. At this time, I issued citation Hotel Alpha 37276768 for mail zone under City Ordinance 16.10.050. I also do have 4 pictures which accompany this citation.
All right, would you like to show those pictures now?
Whenever you like, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's go ahead and do that now.
Okay. My computer is extremely slow, so I apologize, but I'm getting into the pictures right now.
Mr. Krivolenkov, have you seen these photos that the officer took?
No, I have not.
All right, you're going to see them now in just a moment.
Okay, so all right. Is the first photo. Let me know if you can see it.
I can see it now.
Your Honor, this is a photo of the defendant's.
Oh, it disappeared.
Yeah.
Sorry. I apologize. Let me. Oh, my computer is not working. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
So this is a photograph of the defendant's windshield showing there's no kind of placard or permit stating that they can park in the mail zone.
All right, we can see the next photo. All right, this is photo 2. And what is this, officer?
This is a photo of the actual sign. You will see in a later picture how it is positioned in relation to the vehicle.
Okay, we can see the next photo. This
That is a picture verifying the license plate that the citation was given to.
All right, next photo. Okay.
And there is a photograph of the actual vehicle showing there is no signage on the vehicle stating that it is a parking, excuse me, that it is a postal vehicle.
Okay.
And there is one showing the relationship of the vehicle to the sign. So that it was parked in full view of the sign when it chose to park there.
Yep, seems pretty open and shut to me.
All right, and do you have any objection, Mr. Krivolenko, to me looking at those and considering them in my decision, sir?
Well, there's no material objections to the pictures. The pictures are fine. I'm not objecting to the pictures.
All right, then I'm going to go ahead and admit all of those pictures into evidence. Did you have anything else, officer, before I hear from the defendant?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you may go ahead, sir. Did you want to ask her questions or just tell me your side of the story?
Of course.
And here we go.
Officer Parley, what building was my vehicle allegedly parked next to? You said mail zone. Which building?
It's parked in front of a mail zone sign, sir. I'm not sure of the name of the building that it was parked in front of, but I know the post office runs a part of their business out of it. I do not know the name of the building.
Okay. So the post office, are you referring to the U.S. Post Office Service?
That is what the sign says, sir, that it's you cannot park there unless you are a U.S. postal vehicle. It's a U.S. mail zone.
That's not what I asked. I'm asking you
I'm sorry,
specifically.
sir.
That is not what I asked. So
Okay,
listen,
please do ask the question again. I didn't understand it.
I'm going to specifically asking you.
What is the question, sir?
The pictures you've admitted as evidence
Yes.
was my vehicle allegedly parked next to a U.S. Postal Service building.
Sir, no. It says it's a park next to a sign that says you must be a U.S. postal vehicle to park there. It has nothing to do
Again,
with the
ma'am,
building.
I'm going to interrupt you again. Listen very carefully what I asked.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which U.S. postal sign does that building belong to?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, so
I
if you
just
don't
follow the
know,
signs.
so let me ask you this question. Before you issued that citation, should you have verified whether or not you had the authority to even issue a parking citation for that zone?
Now what you say? Bullshit. Y'all say what? Bullshit. One more time. Bullshit.
Look, how dumb is this guy? The fact that there's a sign there and that her job is to monitor that said signs are being respected means that she has the authority to give tickets if they're being violated. What kind of damn yellow-bellied, candy-ass, varmint, egg-sucking, mutton-punching, blue-bellied, tender-footed, goat-f***ing skunk hoarder are you?
No, sir, because I have authority to deal with any of the parking signs within the city of Portland. I am a sworn parking enforcement officer. I follow what the signage says. So, to my knowledge, I was sworn in to uphold those signs.
So, that building, as a matter of fact, on the lower level, and that section belongs to U.S. Postal Service, which is federal property, which makes you a person with no jurisdiction or authority as an employee of the city of the Portland, Oregon, to issue any citations in that zone or operate as an officer in that zone, period. That's your first issue.
He's never heard of concurrent jurisdiction. So he's going to run with that old frauditor trope. You ain't got jurisdiction on federal property unless you're a federal officer or the post office police. Which we all know not the case.
I'm leaving this all up to the judge, sir. I have no say in the matter.
Well, you say no. You're the issuing officer. You have no say in the offer.
I have no say.
Oh, I'm going to interrupt you there, Mr. Krivolenko. So as I explained in the beginning, how these trials work is you first ask questions of the officer. It sounds like you're done asking questions and you're ready to your side.
That's not what I said. I'm not done. I never said that I'm done asking questions. I'm continuing to ask questions and raise my
I don't hear any
argument.
questions, I hear statements, sir. So if you're going to ask a question, it needs to be a question, not a statement.
Sure. Because my questions are not being answered. They're being avoided. So again, Officer
Just tell
Parley.
your side of the story, Mr. Krivolenko.
No, Judge, I apologize for interrupting you, but you are not going to deny my due process. When I'm
The due
finished with my
process to ask questions is happening right now.
don't interrupt me and don't state on my behalf.
Bitch, shut the f up. Look, someone's never seen Judge Judy, obviously. Judges in every court, from small claims court to the Supreme Court, will interrupt you to keep the flow of the court going. It's not up to you. You don't get to do what you want. If you're slowing down the process, you will be interrupted.
I will interrupt you, sir, if you don't ask questions and make statements. So I know, let me ask you this, Mr. Krivolenko. Let's take a break here. Are you a lawyer? Are you a lawyer?
Pro se, ma'am. I'm representing
licensed to
myself.
practice law, sir?
I'm pro se.
Pro se. Okay, so you don't have a law degree.
Do I need to be?
So by my count, the Siberian pussycat, who was just complaining about not having his questions answered, just did not answer 2 of the judge's questions. How about that?
No,
Do
sir,
I
but
need to have a lawyer's degree to be a pro se, ma'am?
no,
Judge?
sir, but I just want to make sure because I'm going to give you a little more leniency with the rules if you don't have a law degree. So I'm going to allow you to make statements and ask questions at the same time if you're not a lawyer. If you are a lawyer, then I do need to keep you strictly following the protocol of first asking questions and then making statements. That's how it works.
Well, my question hasn't been answered. So let me reinstate my question and probably ask it in a little bit different way.
Sure.
Officer Parley,
Yes, sir. I'm listening.
is there a U.S. Postal Service on the first level of that entire building, on that street?
I don't know, sir. I assume so. I've never been in the building. I am just following the sign.
Have you ever, prior to that date, walked by that building and see that there is postal vehicles in that area? That
There's postal vehicles in that zone. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And that sign specifically indicates that this is a mail zone, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then presumption of that would be that it is a postal office or postal station, and the postal station is belonging to and is under the control of U.S. Postal Service.
I'm
Yes?
sorry, I had to sneeze. Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir. I agree with all of that. That is a statement that you're making, and I'm not.
So then,
denying
no,
that.
that's not a statement. I was asking you a question.
What
so
is
you
the
agree-
question? I'm not sure what the question is, other than for me.
I heard her say she agrees with you, sir. You can move to the
Okay,
next
so-
question.
Great. So that establishes this fact, and you agree that that area is under the control of the federal government, specifically the agency of U.S. Postal Service. You agree?
No, sir, I don't agree. I don't know. I only follow the signs. I am not a judge. Please stop
Okay.
asking me questions I cannot answer.
If you're telling me you're following the signs, which you clearly right now, I'm assuming you do not understand, correct?
Sir, I understand your questions. What I'm saying is it's not my jurisdiction to parse out what is what.
Thank you.
I'll follow what the
Thank you for
sign
the answer.
says.
We have clearly established, and you agree, it is not your jurisdiction, correct?
Look, this is a great video, but what would have made it perfect was if the judge grabbed this guy by the collar, slapped him around a few times, and told him the jurisdiction argument ain't what he thinks it is. He's completely misunderstanding it.
No, I did not agree with that, sir. I don't know. I follow the signs. I feel
She's
like
already
you are-
answered the question, Mr.
Yeah.
Krivolenko. She does not know. Next question.
Okay. So, next question is, you issued this citation under the city code 16.10.050, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Have you read that code before issuing the citation?
Sir, it comes up automatically when I issue the citation.
That is not what I asked. I asked, have you read the code of that?
Yes,
That
sir,
particular
previously,
code.
but I could not quote it for you.
Okay. Let me rephrase my question, because I don't think you understood it again, and you're again dodging that question.
I'm not
Prior to
dodging
issuing
it,
the
sir.
citation, listen carefully to my question
Yes,
and don't
sir.
interrupt me. Listen carefully before I finish the question, then you answer it. Prior to issuing that citation, on the date of the issue of the citation, 05/20/24, have you read the city code 16.10?
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you. She's
050.
already answered that question, and you're not allowed to repeat questions. She already answered that she read it, but she could not quote it to you. Next question.
Okay, so let's look at that citation and let's look at the code 16.10.050. It reads, it is unlawful for a pedestrian or the operator of any vehicle to disobey the instruction of a traffic control device placed in accordance with the provisions of this title, unless otherwise directed by the authorized officer. That first paragraph. Do you agree with that?
Sir, I'm not.
I'm going to read it, Officer Parley. So it
Thank
says
you,
it
Your
is
Honor.
unlawful for a pedestrian or the operator of any vehicle to disobey the instructions of a traffic control device placed in accordance with the provisions of this title unless otherwise directed by an authorized officer. That's the first sentence in that code.
I do agree with that, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Now, Miss Officer Parley, can you find me any language in that paragraph, in that first sentence, that gives you the authority or has any language that refers to parking violations?
No, I cannot, sir, but I also will say that the city of Portland, county of Multnomah, and state of Oregon, that is in a zone that I police. So because of that, I feel I do have the authority.
Are you testifying? Because you sound like
No,
you're testifying instead
sir,
of
you
giving
keep asking me questions that I feel like I've answered already. And I feel like you're parsing out, splitting hairs to the 11th degree. I'm not sure where you're going with this. It is a male
splitting
zone.
hairs. What
All
do
right,
you mean
so,
by
Officer
splitting hairs?
Parley, anytime that he asks a question that you feel has already been answered, you can say asked and answered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so what do you mean by splitting hairs?
In Soviet Russia, hair split you.
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Next question.
Yes, next question.
Judge, are you testifying for the officer?
I'm not testifying. I'm making
Are you the
rulings and
plaintiff?
objections.
Are you
Next
the plaintiff?
question.
She didn't raise the objection. You don't raise the objection, Judge. What do you think you're doing? You're going to violate my constitutional rights.
There, Mr. Krivolenko. Actually, I can raise objections, and I just did. So do you have another question, or would you like to move to your side of the story, sir?
Why don't you just stop testifying for the officer? And why don't the officer just keep answering questions instead of giving her statements as testimony? So again, I didn't get
the law, and we're going to follow the procedures in this courtroom.
Right.
You can either accept them, or you can hang up and stop your trial, but we're not going to allow you to control this trial. I'm the one in control here. I'm the one that tells you how it goes, not you. So
You're not.
You have violated the procedures.
Respectfully, Judge, you're
I
not
have
the one who
ruled
violated
already,
the
and you need to move
constitutional
on.
due process. All right. Are we moving on? So let's read second paragraph. It is unlawful for any person to refuse to fail to comply with any lawful order, signal, or the direction of any officer displaying the badge with the legal authority to direct, control, regulate traffic. Officer Parley, do you read anything in that code relating to parking?
I enforce it as I'm told to do. That's all I can ask and answer.
Officer Parley, this is a yes or no question. Do
She
you
answered
read?
the question, sir.
She did not answer my question. This is a yes or no question.
I think what would work
Did
best
you
here,
read
Mr.
anything?
Krivolenko, I believe that you're abusing and battering the witness. And so we're
She's
going to
not a
move
witness.
on.
She's my
You
accuser.
can now tell me your side of the story and what your
Yes.
argument is.
She is not a witness. She is my accuser. She is the officer. And badgering my accuser does not fall under the category of a witness. She's not a
All right, Mr.
witness.
In Soviet Russia, witness abuses badger.
Krivolenko, would it be okay for you to pause and take a breath? Maybe gather yourself. Maybe we could do the other trial and come back to you.
No,
It's
maybe
you're really
maybe you should
upset.
just start violating my.
Often
Maybe you
people
should just
make good
stop violating
decisions
my
when they're
rights.
upset. So we're
No.
going to wait until you can actually listen to me without interrupting me while I'm talking. And then I'm
All
going
right.
to repeat everything I just said to make
You want to
sure.
pause and come back? You want to pause and come back? Do you want to pause and come back, Judge? Or do you want to just dismiss this case because clearly this violation, alleged violation, the statute, the code under which it was written has nothing to do with parking. And this officer Parley has no authority to even issue any citations on federal property. And you're sitting here badgering me. You're sitting here accusing me. You're sitting there on your presiding bench and violating my rights and violating my due process. And in fact, right now you're helping the city and helping the officer Parley, placing her in the position of a defendant. Are you kidding me? She's my accuser. She's the officer. So I think, Judge, you better
I'm done, Mr. Krivolenko, and I'll have my say.
let me put it to you really clearly, Judge. Judicial misconduct carries consequences, and there are remedies. There are remedies to remedy judicial misconduct.
Well, sir, I'm no fancy big city lawyer, but how this guy didn't just escape threatening a judge, or at the very least contempt, is beyond me.
So please, please, don't think that I'm one of those defendants that is going to sit and take this nonsense from you. Understand? So if you want to pause, that's up to you. Right now, I'm moving you, the court, to immediately dismiss this case on the issues and grounds and defenses that I have just raised. This code has nothing to do with parking, and Ms. Parley has no authority to issue parking citations on federal property. Period. I move to dismiss this case.
All right, Mr. Krivolenko, did you have any other arguments or defenses before I rule?
I'm done.
Excellent. Your motion is denied. I find that the officer validly issued the ticket and the fine is $55. Your
Great.
trial is done and you're free to disconnect.
I will move for appeal.
Good. I think you should.
I love that sarcasm in that judge's voice. It just shows that she couldn't give two horny-toed buttholes about his appeal.
I will.
All right, Miss Lynn, are you ready for your trial, ma'am?
Yes.
Well, I can tell by that sundown it's time to say goodnight. A little beans on the fire, little mezcal on ice. And as always, cuddle up with a clean shirt and a dirty woman. Anyway, good night. I bid you adieu.